Okay, welcome back, folks. What we're going to do in this tutorial is just show you a couple handy functions that can come in useful when doing cell references and learning about the different types of information that you have in a spreadsheet. So one of the first functions is the isBlank function. And what the isBlank does is it just checks to see if something's blank. So you can see here I have equals isBlank B3. So I've got something in B3 that's false. That's false because I got some GH text there, JDAS, false here for 12. But you'll notice in this one, since B8 is blank, I get a true there. So it's a handy way to check if something's blank, which is going to be useful for form validation. You can also use this to sort of find the first blank cell at the end of a column, and that sort of thing. So this is usually kind of a behind-the-scenes player that you're going to combine with other functions to get references to empty cells. That's going to help you in different functions later. The next function I want to show you is the info function. So the info function is very powerful. And the way the info function works is it's going to give you information about the spreadsheet itself or the workbook. And info function doesn't really take a cell reference. It just takes a code word, like an Excel command, if you will. So this right here is info, and I have the word directory in quotations. Info directory will give you the current directory where the spreadsheet is saved, which is very helpful for sort of if you want to harvest information from the same directory, which you need to do from time to time. You need to know where the worksheet is stored so you can get that information. And you're going to combine this with a file name to get the current directory. Info num file will tell you the number of worksheets that you have open. So I've got 5 worksheets here. One is blank, info, cell data, end of data, and I've got 5 there. If I add some more data here and rename this, go back to info, this is now 6, which is really helpful if you need to scroll through and sort of iterate over worksheets, which we'll do with VBA. Info origin will give you the origin of the cell. A little misleading because it's not the first origin where you have data, it's the first real origin of the cell, which most cases is going to be A1, so I'm not quite sure how useful that is. Info system will tell you if you're on a PC or a Mac, and info recalc will tell you if you're automatic or if you're manual calculations. Manual calculations are used in very large spreadsheets to suspend calculations so that you don't waste a lot of time waiting for something to refresh every second. So you just suspend calculations. If that happens and if you're in manual calculation mode, sometimes it's nice to remind yourself of that with something like this recalc check to let you know that you have to manually recalc. So it's more of a reminder in those instances. If you can't remember this, just type in equals, type in info, and when you hit the first left parens, you'll see here you have directory, num file, origin. These are the different code words that you can put into the text itself. And that's how that works. If you're not sure, you want more information, you can hit the FX up here. It brings up the functional argument kind of wizard. Just hit help on this function. That'll load up Excel's help, and you can read all about what all this does. So that's the info function. The cell function is kind of the same idea. What it's going to do is give you specific information about a cell. So you'll notice here I put insert cell. It gives me a bunch of code words. So I can put, okay, I want the address of this cell here. Not always that handy. I mean, I know it's B11. I made the reference. But sometimes in VBA, which we're going to get into in the next block, when you're doing macro programming, everything's relative. So the cell you're in is relative to where you started. So oftentimes it's relative to where the user clicked. So having a cell address and knowing really where you are sometimes is helpful. And you can see here I have, this is cell with type. So I get these different codes here for values and such. Here is the address column. I can tell, okay, what column is this in? What format? Okay, that's general. That's a date. And again, if you want more information about what all this stuff means, hit FX, hit help on this function. And it gives you, some more detailed information about what all those codes and such mean. All right, and that's pretty much it for the tutorial. So a couple behind-the-scenes heroes that you may end up using in your spreadsheet design. Take care.